everybody. Welcome to this week's Weekly Roundup. I got a little bit of a list today, so let's get to it. First things first, thank you. Thank you so much for all of the community response and effort and work that went into the September 11th, 20th anniversary ceremony, 5K, Freedom Ride, and volunteer activity. We had tremendous support at all of the events. At the ceremony in the morning, our conservative estimate is at least 350 people. I know the Freedom Ride had around 100. I know there was a ton of walkers and runners and dogs at the Heroes for Heroes 5K. And then we had, a decent amount of volunteers for the Clean Up the River event as well. All of it really important, and all of it so worth the time that went into planning it and the time you all spent attending. So thank you. The next one isn't directly related to the city, but I think it's good to share here from an awareness standpoint. There are two major closures on if you're leaving Watertown to the south. So the I-94 westbound on-ramp is closed. And then just last night and early this morning, they announced also that the bridge at Highway E in the town of Concord is closed as well. So those are two ways, to get on and off the highway that are pretty routine for us here. So just awareness of those. You can obviously go to Jefferson County's website or the DOT's for more information on alternate routes. The Main Street Task Force has been doing a ton of presentations around the community. We should be posting, if it's not up already, a video from a presentation that we did about the task force. That'll be on the cable channels and on YouTube and on Facebook. We're sharing that video so that we continue to receive your feedback. We're in this feedback generation point of our project. We have one more event that we'll be doing, but this is a good opportunity for people to kind of fast forward or rewind or kind of get in the information at their pace. So check out those videos. There is a survey available on the website under development. And then there's also a nice timeline on that development page as well that kind of paces out the work the task force is doing. I've talked about this a couple of times here. Here in the city, when we talk about development, we do focus a lot on retention, which I'll share more in probably a week or two about. But when we talk about development, we're talking about manufacturing, we're talking about housing, and we're talking about hotel. And there's some retail kind of restaurant mixed in there as well. But one of the areas we've been focusing on is housing and housing of all kinds. And I'm really excited to share that we'll soon be kind of sharing some kind of like a marketing highlight reel of all the new developments we've seen in the variety of housing we have. And then we're also participating with a community partner who's funding this project in working on identifying areas where we need particular types of housing, getting some of those, we call them gold shovel ready, but really it just means ready to pick up and build, and then actually putting out requests for proposals on people, for people to be able to complete to develop in the community, these different types of housing. So this may not sound like a big deal, but trust me, it is. In order to get developers to come, you need these types of marketing materials and requests for proposals out in the market so people know that you're open for that type of development. And we're super fortunate to have a community partner financing that project and working with us on that. I've talked to you about the budget, and the budget work continues here. I was in budget meetings for about an hour and a half already this morning, starting at 8:30. And those will continue. But for your purposes, we've done kind of polls on Facebook the last few years of hypothetical budget scenarios. We're going to be aiming for the end of September on those. The virtual budget listening session will be in early October after I present the budget to the Finance Committee. And then if you're interested in sitting in on these meetings, virtual or in person, pencil off the week of October 11th. That's where really the nuts and bolts of the budget question and answer department by department happens. On the road front, I mentioned chip sealing a couple of weeks ago. The contractor had a bit of a scheduling issue. So chip sealing has started, I think yesterday, and will go for about a week. If you're interested in knowing what streets those are, they are posted on the Facebook page. Also on the Facebook page is a monthly report from the fire department. And we've been sharing these the last couple of months, and we're going to continue to, so that you really understand and can come to a place of knowledge on the amount of work that's placed on our fire department, and just the incredible amount of apparatus and service and procedures they follow and report on. So I think the one that always jumps off for me is the call volumes. And then on top of that, the amount of times we have multiple calls at the same time. So about 24% of the time we're on multiple calls. So watch for that on our Facebook page. Let us know if you have questions. We're really just looking to help educate the public on the volume of work and the types of work that come out of our fire department. On the library front, through a generous donation from the foundation, the Storybook Trail has gotten a bit of a facelift. And with that, there's a new book. So get out there and check out the new book at the Storybook Trail. And then I think this is pretty cool. I know a lot of people are going to find this awesome. The library, through the Friends of the Library, is advertising for a Wicked Halloween House Tour. So this will be a driving or walking tour that will eventually be available via a map for the public to kind of check out the different spots. But if you want to be a part of it, go to the Friends of the Library Facebook page and find information there on how you register. I think it's about $20. The proceeds benefit the Friends of the Library. In my mind, it's kind of like the house decorating contest that happened last year around Christmas time, but now this one's for Halloween. So look for more information on that. Also kind of in the vein of fall work, we have a lot of our fall activities through the rec department that are kind of closing out for registration, but then our new kind of intermediate programs are popping up, like fall bingo and the family puzzle contest. We are still offering, kickboxing and pound, the things we traditionally offer at the Park and Rec. But I do want to make sure to continue to point out kind of the parent or guardian child events we have coming up in October. So there's a daddy-daughter and a mother-son that we would love for people to join us in as well. The Donut Dash, so this is the 5K run walk through the police department, is next Saturday. You can still sign up to participate or to volunteer. There's information for that. If you just search, Watertown Police Department Donut Dash on Facebook, you'll find it. If you're not a Facebook user, give a call to the PD and they'll get you connected with someone who can help you sign up to volunteer. On the job front, we do have a couple of openings. We have an opening for a police department officer and a dispatcher. And then in recreational department, we have kind of an office aide and then fall recreational programming staff. So before I get to the weekend, I just wanted to provide another update on COVID. I provided an update last week on COVID because we were starting to see an increase again, an increase that we really hadn't seen for some time. And so we're going to continue to post the numbers every Wednesday. We're going to continue to advertise vaccine clinics. And where you see us advertising vaccine clinics at particular locations, those folks have asked for us to be a partner with them. So if you're interested in having us do a vaccine clinic at your business or your organization, just reach out to the health department and we'll oblige that as best we can. Last year we had to make some really difficult decisions. Our city boards and committees and our city staff, we really were put in a position where people had to make decisions they didn't want to make, whether it was about, not having the aquatic center open or the recreational programmings we could offer. And I'm here to assure you none of those were made lightly, and I don't ever want to have to even have discussions about them again. But I'm going to be honest. These discussions are becoming closer and closer on the horizon, and that's not what we want to be talking about. So there's really easy things that we can do collectively as a community to keep those at bay. The best things you can do are stay home if you're sick. If you're under some type of quarantine or isolation, stay home. And if you're waiting for a test result, stay home. So if hand washing and masking and distancing, all things we've talked about at length, are not things that you're able to, for whatever reason, participate in or choose to participate in, there are 3 things you can do. And these 3 things profoundly affect the trajectory of the virus. We currently have situations in our schools, situations in our places of employment, situations in our recreational programming and after-school programming that were avoidable. So, for example, if your child is waiting on a test result, you should not send them to basketball practice that night. If your child has been quarantined, you should not send them to ballet class. These are hypothetical examples. If you are ill, you should not go to work or send your child. And we're seeing examples of people making those decisions. And I just want to remind you all that we cannot get through this without all of us working together. So regardless of how politicized this has all become, which is disheartening and unnecessary, I'm sharing with you 3 things that don't have to be political at all. They're things we've done for a long time. If you're sick, stay home. If you're put in quarantine or isolation, please stay home. And if you're waiting for a test result, please stay home. This variant is affecting children, and we have instances right now of parents who sent their children to activities, and that affects 15, 20 other kids, and that's not fair. not fair to the kids. And if our goal is to keep children in schools where we all want them to be, and our goal is to offer these recreational programming opportunities that we all want to be able to offer, myself as a parent, I want my kids to be able to participate in them and to be in school. We have to do these things together. So please join me if you have any questions. Maybe you didn't know. That's possible. If you have questions or you're unsure, go to our website, ask us on Facebook, do whatever whatever method of communication is comfortable for you. I just know that there is no way we will be able to continue to go the direction we're going without doing those three things if we want to maintain the services that we're all accustomed to. My phone's ringing at my desk, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I will mention we have an awesome weekend of events in this community. The fall farms are opening up for the season. It's Citywide Rummage, sponsored by the Daily Times, and then the Octagon House and the Historical Society are doing the Octagon House Antique Show. So really great opportunities to be, outside and engaged with the community and enjoy the nice weather we're still having. Next week is homecoming, so plan for that, maybe on the parade on Friday and the game. But enjoy the weather. Have a good weekend. We'll see you back next week.